68.
Nice.
And I'm thinking this episode might be pretty good. A pretty good one to remember in the books. We got a great guest coming on pretty soon, and this guy has done it all. He really, really has. And
Yeah.
I'm up for a challenge. Apparently, our guest has been unhappy with the way I've pronounced his last name.
Oh.
And yeah, it's been a thing for decades now. And
Okay.
so you know the actor Ricardo Montalban?
Yes.
Well, our guest today is Tony Montalbano.
Oh, yes.
Montalbano.
Yes.
So I promised him I was going to get his name right because he has an L in there. So I used to always say Montalbano, and he would always correct me wherever we were. And I understand that because most people, including Sylvester Stallone, say my last name wrong.
Right.
And it's Mike Kunda.
Yeah.
It's not an ooh.
It's
It's like Clever Lang. Come on, Balboa. Kunda.
Exactly.
Although I remember the girls in high school one of the reasons I couldn't get any dates in high school is because my last name was somewhat unique. And when the girls would say, nah, Kunda asked me out, and I said, oh, I got Kunda. Not good. It was like a thing, It was weird. Yeah, it was cruel. They were cruel, the girls in high school. But I've seen some of them lately, and
they got theirs.
Oh, yeah. Not all of them. There's some very nice. We're not going to name any names.
Right.
Okay, so. Hey, Stace, listen, we got a great guest today. Now, we screwed up on the times.
Yes, we did.
We did and we didn't. Here's the thing. The UK is 5 hours ahead of us. There's no doubt about that. But there's a little layover of about a month, about 3.5 weeks or a month, where the UK is only 4 hours ahead of us because of our time change difference. And you and I dropped the ball on that. Okay, so we'll take that up with Terry Tate at the end of the show. All right. Our office linebacker, Terry Tate. But our guest is here now. And this is a guy that I've known for a very, very long time. We started off as pen pals, really. Back in the old days with, writing a letter to each other. Well, on a chat, well, not a letter, but in a chat room, and learned an awful lot about him. And he's an amazingly gifted, talented man. He really is. He's got the guy could take a rock and throw it in any direction and have a career, anything he wanted.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've always pronounced Tony's name wrong. And I understand the sensitivity of that because people always say my name wrong. Mike Kunda. Right? I mentioned that earlier.
Right.
Well, Tony's name is Tony Montalbano. And I used to say, because there's an L in there, Montalbano. Because I don't know. It just
got tongue-tied.
Yeah, I get all tongue-tied, right? Anyways, Stacy, would you bring Tony in and show this handsome man off to everybody?
Here he is. Oh, no, he's reading.
Look at him, see?
Oh, sorry, you disturbed me.
We just happened.
I'm reading it, Mike. I'm reading it.
We just happened to catch him reading my beautiful book.
Beautiful.
Nice.
We've got so much in common, Mike. I mean, as kids.
Yeah. A tremendous amount in common. Tony, let's start off. What's your favorite Rocky? And there is no wrong answer.
Clues.
Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Now, it's not the best film of the lot, but that's the one that motivated me the most.
Got it.
I mean, that changed my life. So I did see Rocky 1 on video and Rocky 2. Loved them, but I don't know, it must be maybe 2 years before I saw Rocky 4. So Rocky 3 I saw at the cinema, loved it, but no, it didn't change my life.
Gotcha.
1985, Rocky 4 come out, boom, just wow.
Yeah.
All my friends, we were just wow, just blown away. So that's where I wanted to start training to change my physique to look like his.
Sure.
Brought some weeder weights, plastic weights. Started training my bedroom on the bed.
I love it.
Of course.
Yeah, so that it started there and it progressed through the years. I mean, back then, no one was training, it was just me.
Yeah.
There was no social media to learn things. It was just like these bodybuilding magazines, which at the time they didn't tell you they were on steroids.
Sure.
So I had to educate myself. So then, how did it progress from that? Well, as we all did, we wanted the Hugo Boss top, the
Yeah.
Rocky merchandise. Went everywhere looking for this stuff,
Right.
and I've only got this one 2 years ago. After
Right.
what, 38 years?
Nice.
Perseverance. That, and you also got the jacket.
Yeah.
You
and
got the same
leather
make
jacket.
and model. The same make and model jacket.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not
Yeah.
like an imitation. Like
Yeah.
this is the same company that made Stallone's for Rocky IV. It's got the same
No
label,
kidding.
everything. It's crazy.
And that was thanks to the what's it called, the auction they had.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Julian's,
Whatever it
yes.
was.
Yeah. Was it Heritage or Julian's that you
Heritage. When
Heritage.
they put photos up.
That's right. And you could read the tag. Wasn't
Yeah.
it like Golden Bear or something of that nature?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that's right. Yeah. And so now I know it doesn't get like cold like it does here, but have you gotten a chance to wear it yet?
I've worn it out once, but to be fair, it's not that comfortable. It's very heavy.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't move around in it.
Right.
Mhm.
I
If-
prefer something.
More importantly, were you able to carry a log on your shoulders through the town square and just say, "That's right, it's a Rocky jacket. You got a problem? You got a problem?" And just knocked him out with the log.
But it wasn't just for the Rocky stuff. It was all his films. Well, not all of them, but like Cobra, the glasses, the jacket, and
Yeah.
the tops.
You are a Stallone connoisseur. That really was one of the huge things that
That's why we were messaging each other a lot.
Oh my
We were
God,
trying
yeah.
to find the right hat.
Sure. For decades looking for these things. And it became something. I mean, I guess some people would see it's obsessive, but it wasn't so
It's
much
crazy.
obsessive.
I'm still doing it at 50.
Same here. Same here. I'm still looking for the Kevin McAndrew hat. That's the type of hat that's the maker of the original Rocky hat. It was Kevin McAndrew.
All right,
So
that's new to me.
yeah, so I'm always looking for Kevin McAndrew hats. Some guy bought one and he sent me pictures of it. He bought it. A guy had it in a hat box in his garage. He didn't know what he had. He bought it for $50. It was as if when Stallone's hat was made, the person that bought it then wore it for all that time. Then they put it into a charity store, and then Stallone found it years later. Well, if that hat was on the shelf, there was another hat next to it. This guy had the hat that was next to it on the shelf, and he bought it, and he had it in his garage all this time. And the guy showed me the pictures. So I got to send you the pictures, Tony. You'll
That's
appreciate
my next eBay search.
Oh, Kevin McAndrew is. I'm telling you, eBay is amazing. I mean, even Reddit's another one, isn't it? Where you could do a lot of searches.
Which one?
Reddit.
Reddit. I've not been on there.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only
heard.
heard of it. Yeah.
I'm fairly new to it too. What do you think, Tony, it is about Rocky, the character? You know, now that you're older and you've lived a very full life, you know, you've had so many highs and lows. Your highs have really been high. You know, what is it about this character you identify with?
I think, you know, at the age of 14, 15, you're looking for a role model. And Rocky come along.
Yeah.
And I mean, at school, I used to be bullied on, teased a lot. And I was skinny, short as well, so that didn't help. So I'd always defend myself, but I could never win the fights. So when I started training, I got more confident with myself.
Okay.
But then it was the opposite. Because they saw me, oh, he's training now, he thinks he's tough. So I'd get into more fights, but because I was more confident, I'd win the fights.
Yeah, right.
But not that I went around looking for fights, but I got that. So yeah, for me it was that. And just you know, like a model, you know, like clothes to look cool, and for some reason it was Rocky, especially Rocky IV. Rocky IV was like everything in that film I loved. The music.
Now, how did you feel? Oh, the music is great. I mean, it really is. How did you feel about the director's cut? And please be honest.
I would have preferred keeping it as it was with those deleted scenes.
Gotcha.
Yes, I got it.
For me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Sly never being happy with Rocky 4? And that's the reason why he did it, because he never intended it to be that way. That was because of the producers meddling, and he hated it. He had to fix Rocky 4. When you see that, is there a way that you can say, I get where Sly's coming from? He wants it not as slick, not as
Oh yeah, I got that. It
Flashy.
didn't fit
Okay.
into the other ones.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
But for me, the best film of the lot was
Yeah, yeah.
Rocky 2.
Beautiful film.
That to me was better than Rocky 1 because it had more emotion to it.
Yeah.
There was, especially when Adrian's in a coma,
Right.
his life change, and trying to please her, not fight, and at the same time his manhood is crushed.
Yeah.
Uh,
Totally.
Yeah.
The fight was so much better, obviously because of money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Stacy, what are you thinking so far?
Yeah, I was gonna say when you were talking about school and what was happening in school, it's kind of like Sage, or when Sage is
Yeah.
playing his part, it's not like you're out there looking for a fight, but you do need to be able to defend yourself, and
Yeah.
so it reminds me of
Uh,
that when he was trying to help us.
My parents they had a business of their own. So,
Oh,
I mean, they worked like 9 till 10 at night every day.
oh wow.
So I knew, to disturb them and tell them, that I've got 3 sisters as well. So that's why I guess Rocky, a role model, it started off with Tarzan,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Bruce Lee, Superman.
Yeah.
I was always, I don't know why, but I always had these role models to be. I wanted to be them.
Right. Right.
But Stallone more so as in life, how the
Well,
things that he'd gone through in his personal life.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the Rocky 4 thing. Rocky 3 is my favorite, but Rocky 4,
They're all
I
great.
yeah, they're all great. It's like, as Mike says, you're picking a favorite child. You love all your
Yeah.
kids. But
Yeah.
I felt like I could fly by the time I walked out of Rocky 4. It's like you feel like you can conquer the world,
Yeah.
and that feeling, and it just reminds you of what the human spirit is capable of. And do you mind if I show some of your photos? I mean, I'm going to first show your young one. Is that okay? This one
Yeah.
here. Here you are, regular. And
Guess what year that was, Mike?
I have. Oh yeah, Cobra. Look at those
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah.
Man.
I've probably been training a year.
It's starting to show though. But if you take a look at your picture there, and you take a look at a picture I posted about a year and a half ago, it was a short video of me the year I graduated, 1986. We almost look the same. Our body
Yeah,
types are. I'm all in red, and I'm like a pipe cleaner, and I got the tube socks. The tank top is tucked inside. I got no love handles. I'm a wedge right down, but I'm that round.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the time, I thought it was a lot better. Looking at it,
Yeah.
so special.
Do you remember where you got those sunglasses at? Because they were great.
Were they the Ray-Ban ones? I can't remember now. Because later on, I did get I think they're copies. They're not the Ray-Bans.
Gotcha. Yeah, they look great though.
they made.
Now, who's with you? Who's with you in that picture?
No, I think this is Sports Day.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, I can't even remember who took that.
That's
Gotcha.
funny.
That is funny.
There's this.
Bit of a change there.
Yeah.
Bit of a change. Now, Tony, let's talk about this for a minute, because this was something that just impressed the hell out of me. You won several titles, and one of them being All Natural. And that is something that it just impresses the hell out of me. Now, anyone who is taking time, I mean, look at that. There you go.
Yeah.
Look
That's
at
my
that.
last year.
Amazing.
Right.
The photo before was 2003.
Mhm.
This is 2006. I had 3 years off.
Mhm.
And I came back because I wanted to win the world title. I came second when I won the British title in 2003. And I came back wanting to win the world title. But to do that, I had to do the British title again. So it was very scary to come back after 3 years. I didn't want to lose my title.
Yeah.
And I won that and more.
Right.
More than
exactly.
I ever imagined. I was scared.
That's the thing I often say to people. Could you imagine when you're 50 years old and you go back and you whisper into the ear of your 10-year-old, 11-year-old self, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Keep persevering, keep going. You're going to reach heights you're never going to imagine you're going to reach. Like, do you ever think about that, Tony, telling yourself that if you could?
Yeah, of course. I tell it to my son, you know.
Right. Okay. Great point. Great point.
Yeah.
It's tough because I know youth
They
today.
think they know better.
Of course they do. We did. I did. I didn't want to listen to my father. Well, I sort of did listen though on a couple of times, but no, but I know exactly what you're saying. And
well, he was dead against it, Mike. He didn't support me in this.
Oh, your dad?
Yeah, my father.
Right.
I mean, you know, even when I started training, he was like, "Why are you wasting your time on your energy on this when you could be working in a shop?" You know.
Yeah.
But
old school.
Yeah, I mean, originally, Mike, I wanted to do acting. That was my thing. I wanted to do acting.
Yeah.
So from a very young age, I mean, he brought a not for me. He brought a camera, video camera, you know, big thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And you had to carry the video recorder with you. So me and my friends, that was our hobby. We used to make films. We didn't go and play football or anything. We were making films from the age of 12 till probably 24.
Right.
Short films.
Sure.
I even done a Rambo-ish film.
Yeah. That's amazing. And that leads you into something quite remarkable. You know, you start doing acting. Like you've been in, I have to say, almost every major motion picture franchise there is. You've had a hand on some degree, little, medium, big, whatever. You've been there. How do you get into being into the background? And we're going to get into when you co-acted with Sylvester Stallone. You helped him out with Judge Dredd. We're going to talk about the Expendables in just a minute. But how do you get started in acting? You know, when your dad, did he understand at some point? Oh, maybe acting.
No.
Okay.
So when I was at school, the last year of school, so I'm 15, coming on 16. The only three subjects I was good at was PE, the training, because the last year of school they got a gym, and because I've been training for about a year, I was confident with that. So I was setting records, and the year above me were trying to beat me, and I'd beat them. Nice. So for me, it was finally I'm good at something. And the other subjects was art and drama. Mm-hmm. So my drama teacher sent me for an audition in London to join an acting agency. And back then it was different. You had to have a green card to be an actor. So my dad's taken me to London, driving there. It's taken about an hour. London's about an hour from me. But because he's got this business of his, he wants me to do that.
Right.
What I want to do with acting is a pipe dream. He just completely demolished it.
Right.
So by the time I got to the audition, I was like,
oh, yeah.
So I left it. I never carried on with it. So 94, around the time I'd done Judge Dredd, I was working in a gymnasium. And, you know, I'd done many different jobs I didn't like. And then finally I found the thing I really loved. This is a long story.
That's okay.
We want to hear it. And we have the time. So please.
So I started working in this gym, and I started thinking about having my own gym. And, you know, I worked there for about almost 2 years. And Judge Dredd came out, and I had a date with my girlfriend at the time to go and see it. So you can imagine how excited I am to see it.
Sure.
But the guy who was meant to take over my shift was late.
Okay.
So which made me late. So I'm driving fast to get home, and I overtook a car. Range Rover coming my way. Couldn't get back in time. Boom.
Oh
I got out of the car thinking I was all right, but I saw a little girl in the back of the car. So I got out to see if she was all right, just dropped to the floor. Didn't realise I broke my leg in 3 places. Next thing I know, I'm in an ambulance. Next moment, I'm in the hospital because I've just gone out, and my girlfriend at the time was crying her eyes out, and yeah, I was there for about a week.
Wow.
Then I was in bed for about 3 months with a broken leg in plaster, and that's when I started thinking about opening a gym.
Gotcha.
Now, my mother was like dead against it. She didn't think it worked. But my father, he was like, no, give him a chance, because they had a premises that was empty.
Okay.
Small place, but it was good to start off with. So he's all up for this.
Let me ask you this. Do you think your dad was a little more positive with this? Because
for sure.
brick and mortar, he could
It's
see
real.
it.
It's
real.
real.
He could grab the building, right?
Yeah.
It's a place you can go. Okay.
So we started on that with the insurance money from the car, blah blah. I started it off with their help, and I only started off with like 16 pieces of equipment, and it grew. But that's what led me to bodybuilding. So one of my clients, he said to me, Tony, you should compete. And I'm like, no way. I'm not standing on the stage in my pants. But the big inspiration for me was the Rambo picture of Stallone in the gym in Santa Monica with
the
his
red
shorts.
Yeah, the red
I
shorts.
always wanted to look like that. The abs. I mean, you can get the muscles, but getting the abs.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this, and it'll be good for the gym to tell clients what it's all about if they want to do it.
Sure.
But I competed. I came third. I had my family support. My father was there.
Yeah.
I came third, and I got addicted. Then my mission was to win the Central Championships. So that's my region.
Okay.
So I competed again the following year. I won it. I qualified for the British. So from there on, the goal got higher. Now I want to win the British title. No, I want to come top 3 in the British title.
Okay.
I was getting 6th, 5th for a few years. 7 years later, I finally won the British title, and that wasn't the best moment for me. I mean, you know, I took a lot of knockdowns, but the best moment for me was my father, because I forgot to say this. So after a few years of competing, my father turns around and he says to me, you should give up. You're never going to beat that guy, the guy that was winning all the time.
Oh.
But this time, this fire in me,
Wow.
Right, I'm going to show him now.
Yeah.
So the best moment for me was my father coming backstage, hugging me with a tear in his eye, saying, well done.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh my God. I love that.
Isn't that a great story? That's beautiful. Tony, I knew maybe 20 guys that had that same fire you did. And there's this gym called Peffers. My father still goes to that gym to this very day.
Wow. How old
yeah,
is your father now?
78 or 79. Sorry,
Yeah,
Dad.
that's what it's all about. Just like Sly.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly. I mean, you know, my dad, he had a pretty good solid bench, very strong, but the thing is that he's very consistent with all of it. And you know, these young guys get all caught up in it. But that's my point.
But so do you remember your father doing this while you were growing up?
Oh yeah.
Didn't you feel like doing it as well?
Yeah, well, I did. I would go to Pepper's gym, but my thing is I'm not a very competitive. You know this, Tony, since you have been reading my book. The very first sentence of my book is literally, I am not a competitive person by nature. That's the very first sentence I write.
Mm-hmm.
I never cared if I was better built than anyone else. I didn't care if I could throw a football farther. It didn't matter to me. That didn't impress me. Yeah. What impressed me was how an individual treated the people they loved. That was my thing. That's what I took from Rocky. Okay, so I knew a lot of guys that had a fire like you, but the difference between you and them, they went down a road of maniacal egocentricity where they took steroids. Why? And they failed and they went nowhere and they got horrible lives. why did you not take steroids? Why did you not go down that road? Because you could have been an amazing competitor at the pro level like that.
I don't know. Maybe it was the Rocky IV story, because it was natural against steroids. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Right.
But for me, I only trained because I like Sly. Look how good he looks
Yeah.
at an old age. And for me, it was about that. So if you're doing steroids, you're going against what you're trying to do.
Right. Exactly.
I want to keep healthy, so I want to look good in my. I used to say my 50s. Now I'll have to say my 70s.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're all saying that now.
Yeah.
Stacey,
So,
what do you think?
I always did it for me. I never did it to impress anyone. It was just
Gotcha.
for me.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And that's and again, I know a lot of this from the conversations that we have, but I think it's very interesting, and I want people to hear more about it. Stacey, what do you think so far about what we're talking?
Well, you and I have the exactly same parents. Everything, because my original aspiration was actually music and singing, and so saying that to an ex-nun and an engineer, brings a lot of silence to the dinner table. That was an exactly same thing. Pipe dream.
Right.
It's just a generation thing, and if you can't touch it, it's not real. So I'm glad your dad supported you.
But I'm the opposite with my children. I encourage them to follow their dreams.
Yes. And actually, my daughter's in a music program here at Belmont in Nashville, and I never wanted to squash that. You know what I mean? So as you were talking, I was like, oh, it was like choking me in my throat because you just so desperately want them to understand, and they just don't.
Why are you taking these supplements? What was this? Drugs were taking.
Yeah. And then that moment with your dad, and it's just so funny how, I don't know, just how that put the fire in, and then he had to come back there and be like, hey.
Young person then, and I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
I was probably 24 when 97 I started competing.
Yeah.
So I was about 26. I was a bit older, and I thought, right, I'm going to show him this time. I'm not going to let him. Part of me feels angry I didn't follow the acting career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So in lockdown, I closed my business as there were so many gyms opening up, and business weren't the same for about 5-6 years. So that was the final straw.
Let's talk about that just for 1 second. I remember talking to Tony right around this time when it was going on. And I think I was sadder for Tony than Tony was. I expected Tony to be so crestfallen, so broken that he had to close the business. And I'm sure it bothered you, but you came across to me as like, it's not what it was, Mike, and it was time to move on. That was the type of vibe I was getting from you.
Yeah.
And then I realized, man, you're really killing it, with the acting and doing all of that. When you decide to close the gym, is there a goodbye party? Is there a bunch of guys coming in for drinks?
Lockdown. It's lockdown.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And that's what made it easier for me to do it. So 2006, I achieved my goals, British champion, world champion. Then it was like, what am I going to do now? I need something. I mean, the gym, I was there 12 hours a day. I did it for 25 years. But I needed something else rather than, because my ex-wife wasn't happy me competing. Mm-hmm. That's another story. But I need something else just luck. A friend of mine said, we need some extras for a job local. Do you want to do it? Okay. And going back to Judge Dredd. So Judge Dredd was 94, 95 open gym. So I'd done a couple of jobs then. And then I opened my gym. So I closed the door on that. And then it was the bodybuilding. So for 10 years I was competing. And then I need something else. So I started doing the background work on the side of the gym. Just to break up it's long days.
Yeah.
So I was doing that from 2008, I think it was, till I closed the gym in 2020.
When you get Judge Dredd, when do you stop giggling and laughing and start pinching yourself?
Mike, you know me, I make things happen. So it didn't happen like that.
Yeah, but
So-
you got it though. And this is a great story. So how did
Yeah.
you get Judge Dredd?
So 1993 was the opening of Planet Hollywood in London. The first time I get to see Sly. So I went there with my sister, my cousin. We're opposite the road where Planet Hollywood is. You see all these big actors walk in. They wave to the crowd. You know, great. Saw Christopher Reeve. That for me, he was another
Amazing.
Wow.
inspiration. Anyway, Sly comes along after Arnold and Bruce. He jumps over the barricade, goes up to the fans. You know, completely different to the rest. You know, there's one thing I'll say about Sly. He loves his fans.
Mhm.
He's always gone that extra special mile for them. I didn't get to sit near him, but that's what he did. And the security went crazy and they pulled him back. Anyway, when that finished, it was late and my sister and my cousin gone home. But my uncle lives in London, so I stayed with him. The next morning I left with a taxi and the taxi driver, what you been up to in London then? And I said, I just went to the Planet Hollywood opening. Oh, Sly's staying at Dorchester. Take me there. I want to meet this guy.
Great.
So when I get there, there's one guy. We start talking. He's a big Sly fan. And by the time Sly's come out, there's quite a bit of a crowd.
Yeah.
But Sly came up to me. We shook hands. He signed my autograph book. And that was that. But me and this guy, he was a background artist and he was working on Judge Dredd. So, you know, back then it was no social media. So we were writing to each other. I'd send my pictures, copies to him and he'd send me his copies. No, then he tells me he's on Judge Dredd. So he says, why don't you come and see the film set? I said, is that possible? Because
Nice.
So early in the morning, like I had to leave here 3 o'clock in the morning to be there for 4:30, something like that. There's a coach load of us. We get there to Shepperton Studios, big queue of people. My friends disappeared. So I'm in this queue. I get up to the reception and they say, who are you with? I'm not with anyone. I've just hoped that you had some work for me. Oh, okay. If someone drops out, we'll give you a job. Okay. And that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
So it's the final scene in the film where he comes down the steps and I was cheeky. So, you know, they rehearse. I was put right in the background with my friend. But I noticed that where Sly was going to come down to the bike.
Yes.
So I moved myself over there.
Yeah,
You know,
here
so
we go.
we all look the same, and there I am.
There he is. Look at that guy.
All right, while we're here, let me just play this super, super quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Hang on. So we saw you over that on the left side of the
That
screen
scene
there.
was the comedian. He wasn't there. They put that in after.
Oh,
no
Rob
kidding.
Schneider. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so the woman next to me says, "You weren't stood there before." I was. But that scene was like 3 minutes. It took a day and a half to film it.
Crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
And when you see Sly ride off, that's not him. That's a stunt. A
Stunt
double.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke
When
to
you're-
Sly on set.
When you're there and you're on the Judge Dredd set, right?
Surreal.
It's surreal. And I know the buildings only go like halfway, just above camera shot and all that. I get that. But you're looking around, like at any point, do you get to walk around, like even after the actors have gone? Can
Yeah,
you then stretch your legs a little?
Yeah. It's all fake. It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, but is the front of the building, I've always wondered this, is the front of the building real stone or is it plywood painted to look like a stone, whatever?
Most of them, painted to look like it, but they are quite strong.
quite strong. Okay, I would
Yeah.
imagine because back lots, wind
Yeah.
would be a factor, or whatever. Okay.
I don't remember if I walked up those steps.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 94, but I remember walking around with my friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, Stacy. This is such a funny thing. I got to tell you. So here we are picking Tony's brain about 1994 Judge Dredd, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine I'm picking Sly's brain about Rocky and what happened 1 week while he was in Philadelphia filming in 1975,
Yeah.
and and I understand Sly. He gets the essence of the answers. He remembers essentially, but not the small, minute details of everything, and then other things he does. So I know what Tony's saying because it's 1994. I don't know what I had yesterday for lunch. So it's one of those types of things. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, so you get. Okay, I want to segue because since we do talk about Sly here, so you get that. We're gonna touch back on some of the movies you've been in, and I want to go back and I want to touch on something about bodybuilding in a moment. But you get an opportunity to do a shot at Expendables 4. How does this go? What happens? Expendables 4. Tell us.
So this is recently, last year or year before. I get an email from my background agency, and they're asking me for a video of me acting out a scene at a bar. Someone's said something nasty to me at the bar, and I turn around and say a certain phrase, swearing phrase.
Yeah.
And I thought, for a background agency, that's unusual, very unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, you don't know nothing about it until you get on set. All they want to know is, are you available, how you look, and that's it. They wanted a video. So I still don't know why that was, but I'm reading the email, and the title of the film is EX4. I'm like, what? And Sly recently on Instagram put a picture of his ring, the Expendables ring.
Yeah.
So it was quite obvious.
Yeah, what it was.
And I'd said to some people on set, are they doing Expendables at the moment? And they said, yeah. And it's a bit of a, well, I won't get into that, but yeah. But in the end, I didn't get it because, and one of my two stunt friends, stunt coordinator, told me who got it. They gave it to a guy. I didn't get it because I was too tall. I'm 5'5". I don't know how tall this guy is, but he was shorter than me and skinnier.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. The first time in 10, 12 years of me doing this acting gig, I'm too short.
Expendables 4. Could you imagine that? But it's the fact that you get to rub elbows, because your career, you've done, you did one of the pirate movies. What one did you do?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, damn. I forget the name now.
He's done so many movies, Stacy. He can't remember what Pirates of the Caribbean he's done. If you or I did Pirates of the Caribbean, I did Pirate Caribbean Part 3. I was on the bow, up top.
Part 3, yeah, it was Part 3.
yeah, it was Part 3. There you go. All right,
Yeah.
so you did that, and you can be seen in the movie.
Second. 3 weeks filming, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Running through ponds, and, it's the worst job I've ever done.
Really?
The worst one. The way they treated us.
Oh.
And you saw me for 1 second. But I got to meet Johnny Depp, and he was awesome.
Of course he was. He's Johnny Depp.
No, seriously, he was awesome.
What's the movie you were in with Emma Thompson and Dustin Hoffman? And you wore the fedora and the
I had to have that look.
So explain this to us. How did you do your own look?
So basically, they just say, can you bring a few outfits for the winter, dark colors? And they decide whether they like it or not. And
okay.
Simple as that.
So on a chance, you're like, listen, I don't know if they're going to like it. I'm going to bring the hat. I'm going to bring the coat. And if I get lucky, then I get to represent Rocky in my way. And what was that movie? Do you remember?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot now.
How do you not know this? I would be able to recite every movie I was ever in. Come on, man.
Oh.
All right, we're going to get that clip from you, or I'll find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it right here because as Tony's walking by, you see Dustin Hoffman right there. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, right? Now, you had a lovely conversation with one of the greats, Anthony Hopkins.
Oh.
What was that? Was one of my favorite stories. What was that like?
Right. So we're eating lunch. We're on a coach eating lunch because we're at the Chelsea football stadium. We're filming a scene in their gym. Woody Allen film. So I got to be directed by Woody Allen, which was wow, you know.
Oh, sure.
But I knew Anthony Hopkins was in it because he was in the scene. But it came lunchtime. He gets on our coach. He's got his own. I don't know if he had a room or what, but he gets on our coach and he sat opposite me there. And I'm like, me and my friend were looking at each other thinking, what's he doing here? He puts his hand over. Hi, Tony Hopkins, pleased to meet you. We know who you are. You have to introduce yourself. Well, you never know. So we got talking. He was interested in us, what we do as essays, blah, blah. Surely he knows that. But I think you just try and make conversation.
Sure.
Then I said to him, do you mind having a picture? But on set, we're not allowed to do this. So when I do this, it's always away from the directors, etc. So my friend quickly took the picture and I put it away. He goes, you're not going to look at it and check it out? He looks at it, take another one. Took another one. So we carry on conversing. He gets off. Anyway, nice to talk to you. Speak to you later. The next day was a beautiful day. We'd just eaten lunch. We're sat outside and Tony comes on. He's come on late. So there's a load of us. I'm sat there. He comes over to me. Hi, Tony. How are you? In front of everyone. And they're like, oh, Tony now, is it?
Nice.
That was awesome, yeah.
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
He got on the coach and I brought some DVDs for him to sign. Yeah, back in DVD time.
Yeah, right.
No, he signed that for me. He was talking about his surprise birthday at Graceland. He's a big Elvis fan.
I didn't know that.
I think it was at his 60th.
Right.
But yeah, he was great. He signed my Elephant Man DVD.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, that was the first film I remember seeing of his.
Gotcha.
Wow.
But he was so great.
He's amazing. Yes.
Didn't you have a run-in with Tony Soprano at some point?
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about that.
He died.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And he was with another actor, I forget his name now. But I didn't know who he was at the time.
Gotcha.
So I asked for a photo and Mark, oh damn. Mark Strong.
Okay.
You know who he is?
No clue.
I couldn't tell you what films he's been in, but he's been in a lot of big films.
I'll take your word for it.
He took the picture and I knew he was in the scene. So just to be polite, I had a picture of him after. Mm-hmm. But James was great.
And what movie was this? This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. You've been so... All right. How about the Muppet movie? Can you remember the name of the Muppet movie you were in?
Muppet Show.
You know, that's another Sylvester.
It was the first one that they made.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
You were in a theater scene or was it a street scene?
Theater scene.
Yeah. See, I know more about your career than you do. I remember these things that you told me because I was so impressed. I was so blown away by it. Now, you made. Now, here's something I have to admit I don't recall. Did you make it into one of the Star Wars or no?
No.
In one of the spin-offs?
The one franchise I really wanted to be in.
Yeah.
So I always got the emails. Are you available for this? And they never tell you what it is. They give it secret titles.
Of course.
But from people I know who are working on set, they tell me what it is.
I gotcha.
And I never got them. The one I did, they said, "Are you available tomorrow to film?" I was in Sicily.
Oh, were
Oh.
you?
Yeah, and I was like, wow. So no, I never got to do a Star Wars.
I know that feeling. I was supposed to be in a Super Bowl commercial with Stallone for along with, like
Oh yeah, I know,
this-
we know.
the whole Marco thing, and I couldn't do it because that's when Sue was she was going for her pre-sign-in
Oh, yeah.
for the brain surgery.
Yeah.
And so she was more upset that she was causing me to miss that. And so, of course, being the jerk that I am, I was really giving it to her because it was funny. I go,
Your time will come, Mike.
yeah,
Everything happens for a reason.
it does.
Yeah.
And I kept teasing her, and I go, we're driving out to Hershey, and I'm like, I can't believe I have to come here with you on this. I can't believe you can't come to your brain surgery appointment by yourself. I'm supposed to be standing with Sylvester Stallone on the steps for the
What's
Super
wrong
Bowl
with
commercial. I
that?
go, this is crazy. I mean, you're a grown woman. What's wrong with you? So
Yeah, you'll be fine.
you'll be fine. And brain surgery, don't worry, it's okay. No,
But the one franchise I was in that I wanted to be in was Superman.
Mm.
And what one was it? Do you recall? Was it the Brandon Routh one?
Yeah, no. Henry Cavill.
Oh, right. Okay.
League.
All right. So here's my problem with Henry Cavill. I like him as a Superman. I'm not gonna. He was a great actor. He's in great shape. He looks fantastic.
He loves the role. That's the thing.
I know he does. He really loves the role. My problem with Henry Cavill is that how does Superman have a receding hairline?
I noticed that, yeah.
He doesn't. He can't. His follicles are super. It's in the title. Super. He's got to have
Perfect hair.
He's got to have it.
Yeah,
I'm
Mike,
sorry.
yeah.
Christopher Reeve had perfect hair. Brandon Routh had perfect hair. Henry Cavill does not have Superman hair. I don't care. And it's the thing that pisses me off about that. Every time I watch it, I see his hairline. However,
but those films for me weren't great. They weren't Superman for me.
No, I know what you mean. You are a diehard Christopher Reeve guy when it comes to Superman. I know you are. And me too. I mean, he is our generation's Superman, and all the others are great. I can't take anything away from them, but there's just something special. Maybe it was the CGI wasn't there yet. It was on cables.
Even the music, they don't use music
right
like they did back then.
Right.
You know, like the helicopter scene in Superman.
Yeah.
Just, wow. Every scene of that is just like, wow.
It's amazing. Dun, 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 dun.
You've
got me.
Like Rocky films. They feel
exactly. Thank you very much. Which is why this third spinoff in the Rocky series is just not something that's living up to par.
It's not a Rocky film. Simple as that.
I mean, the Rocky, we were just talking about it. Stacey and I were just saying how the Rocky music is its own category. It's not country. It's not big band, jazz. It's Bill Conti's Rocky music. When you come out of there, you are flying. You are bench pressing a Cadillac. When you come out of the third spinoff movie, it's like, yeah, it was a good movie. But hey, let's go get something.
You know, he wins in this fight. You don't feel nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, right.
And they even put the Rocky music there, but it just
you didn't hit. Yeah,
I'll get a rash.
Honestly,
I just get a rash.
I love the Creed films, but that last one.
Yeah.
Sorry to mention the name.
That's all right. We're gonna edit that right out. Stacey, what are we? We're at 122. Well, 123. Go back and just put a little blip there. I don't even want to hear that name.
Oh my goodness. Actually, I want to show off a few
Stacey.
pictures. Let's show off a few pictures because so here's a couple of your Stallone pictures, which we love.
And that was outside the Dorchester?
Yeah.
Nice.
In here.
Oh, that was a funny moment.
This is a great story. Stacey, like you gotta don't go past this yet. Go ahead,
okay.
Tony. Tell that story.
So I'm invited to the premiere of Expendables 3, I think it was. And I'm on the red carpet. I'm with my friend. I've lost him. I'm looking all over for him. I step back to, boom! I bumped into someone.
Oh, what?
Sly had to stop me from falling on him and his bodyguard.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought, of all the people to bump into, why him? He
That's
probably didn't
great.
know this. It was me.
That's great.
funny.
What does he say to you in that moment?
No, he just like, and that was it. He carried
Yeah,
on
that's
walking.
it. Keeps going. Keeps going.
Yeah, he probably thought
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here?
Yo,
Drago, he must
Drago.
break
Now,
you.
Dolph, I did see back in the time that Rocky 4 come out.
Mhm.
We were on a school trip in London, in a minibus, all my school friends. There's a white Rolls Royce behind us. We're all looking. I'm in the back looking. It pulls alongside us. He rolls the window down. Dolph Lundgren. And I got a Rocky picture of me because while I was there, I was looking for Rocky stuff as I did. And he smiles and waves, and that was that.
Isn't
Wow.
that great? And life is timing. Look at that.
All the way to Liverpool for that one.
People that wear black leather jackets are more stupid. Is that one of the Max Cadies?
No, I got it on
'Cause you-
eBay. It was a Rocky jacket. I can't remember what company.
You got, because I see you got the lapel, not the lapel. You've got the pleat going
Yeah.
across the shoulder,
Yeah.
upper chest. Yeah,
It's not a bad one.
gotcha. Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
Billy
he's
Zabka.
cool.
Who would have thought he would have turned Cobra Kai around, man, and
Yeah,
made it what it is?
definitely. And you'd be rooting for him.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Exactly. And then this one is timely with her
Now,
passing.
this is one of your ex-girlfriends, Tony. Tell us about her.
It didn't last very long.
Didn't last very long. Oh, that's too bad.
I had someone big to live up to.
You had a big jumpsuit to fill. Priscilla Presley, man. So when you meet someone like Priscilla Presley, like how does that go down? Like like are you out by accident? Was that a meet and greet? Like how's that happen?
No. She was in Milton Keynes, which is about 45 minutes away from us, doing a theatre play. And I've been a big Elvis fan since I was, I don't know. I've been a fan since I was about 6, because I remember the day that Elvis died. Because my mother was in front of the TV crying. Mum, why are you crying? The best singer in the world died. So ever since, I've always loved his music. And back in the 90s, I got bigger, loved it more. And then 2000, I took my parents for a surprise holiday to Graceland. And then Vegas for their 50th anniversary, and yeah, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So for me, meeting Priscilla was like the best I could do to meet in Elvis.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So she was doing this theatre play, and after it, I waited outside with my son, and she finally came out.
How was she?
Yeah, she's polite. She had a photo of my son and myself, and
nice.
It's quick, and you don't want to bother him.
Yeah, of course. Oh no. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I can remember too when Elvis died. We were in the car. We were in the station wagon. Was 77 he died, I think, right?
77,
yeah. And we were going to Atlantic City for summer vacation, and it had come across the radio. Elvis had died. We were in the car traveling when they had announced it, and I remember my parents just saying, "Wow, Jesus, Elvis died! My God!" And it was such a shock. Because you just think these people are immortal, and in many ways they are immortal. I mean, Tony, I can't, and Stacy, I can't. The day Stallone dies, I think the three of us are going to be fairly inconsolable.
It's not happening. No, not happening. I've decided it's not happening ever.
He's immortal.
Jesus. Now, Tony, before we wrap up, I'm going to give Stacy a chance. Anything she wants to say or add or whatever. I have 2 questions. One's going to be the last question, but the next question I have is your silver trophy in back of you. That's one of your bodybuilding cups, right?
Yeah.
When you're on stage and you're holding that, and there are people staring at you, and you're in your little tiny pants, and you're standing there, what goes through your mind? What is, and you're there probably 5, 10, 15 minutes with the cup, whatever. What is that? What are you thinking?
I finally achieved my goal, I always believed I could do it, and a lot of people were being negative around me.
Yeah.
But I had to see this through, and the same for my acting now. It took me 7 years to win the British title, and I will. So since I've closed the gym, that's my mission, to do good in the acting world. I don't want to be big, but a few good films, not
Sure
background, just good little parts. So yeah, I'm up there just overwhelmed. Not only for me, but my family, because they've had to endure it, especially my ex-wife. And I finally achieved it.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
But the difference between, when I stepped on that stage that year, it was like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
All I saw was me winning.
Yeah.
And when they're announcing it, all I could hear was, I'm the winner. Yeah.
Wow. Was that the video you sent us with Eye of the Tiger in the background? Because I have it. Let me play it.
Let me guess. He forgets.
Oh yeah, on stage doing a routine.
Let's take a look.
Nice.
See, not bad.
I just realized both times I won it, I had Rocky music going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your good luck.
What were some of your other songs that you posed to?
Oh, Braveheart.
Yeah, I know you forget. Oh, Braveheart.
Braveheart, remember?
Yeah, nice.
I can't remember the rest. I mean, I've done over 30 shows.
Right.
You know what, Tony? I can tell you, I've done 3,000 tours. I can tell you the names, what they've done, where they live. No, I can't. Most people who have taken my tour 3 times, and I don't mean like via Marco and Sean. I don't mean like that 3 times. I mean, they've taken 3 individual tours, and I greet them like I haven't met them before. They're the same people. So what do you do for a living? Mike, we took your tour 2 years ago, Mike. Oh, yeah. I thought you changed jobs,
Now I want to say this. This guy, didn't know him. I'm in New York. I've got time on my hands. I message him. I remember seeing on a certain forum that he knew the Rocky locations. So I message him. I can't remember whether was it on that page or email. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
He gives me his number, call him. Have you got time? Yeah, come down. He tells me how to do it. I go down. Spent the whole day, him and Sue treat me like family, even invite me for their family meal after.
Wow.
That's how good this guy is. I'll never forget it.
We had the best time.
Honestly, but this is before he was doing the tours as a living.
Yeah.
And I was filming it for myself because, I'm at the Rocky locations. But Mike was like, it was like I was with Rocky. You squinted your eyes and you think, this is Rocky.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. So I put a video together. I put it on YouTube just to show everyone.
Yeah.
Go with Mike and on these tours.
Nice. That's actually what
I'll never forget that, Mike.
Oh. That's what I was going to lead into, because you sent me a bunch of pictures and I took a bunch more, and I love this photo of you two here. This is great.
Yeah, I think that was 2 years ago, right? The tour.
Last year.
Last year. Yeah. That's right.
45th anniversary.
That's right.
So just a few.
And this year.
That's this year. Yeah.
This face right here. That's pretty funny.
Didn't realize he was doing that.
Yeah. Man, time goes by fast, man.
too
Yeah.
fast.
Time goes by fast. Just great shots, man.
You made a dream come true, Mike.
You know, that's the one thing, Tony, that I've always hoped I could help people take part of, because I know what that means to me. And I remember the funny thing I remember about that day when you came down from New York. It's funny. We were at the same bus. There's one bus station, one main bus station. Tony was out back with the buses. We were on the front, and we were messaging. I go, Tony, I'm here. And he goes, Mike, I'm here and I don't see you. I go, Tony, I'm here and I don't see you. He was just, all he had to do was just walk through to come to the front. And I go, oh, I think he's up. But that went for like 45 minutes. We were like less than 50 feet. There was just a building in between us. That was
Right.
it. And then we did. We had a great time. We went all over. And it's funny when I go back and listen to some of that, or what I recall from that original filming, I hear some of the mistakes I made that I didn't know that I've since learned and corrected. And I go, oh, that's not right. That's incorrect or whatever.
And that's what I was looking at my routine. I'm thinking, no, I could have done that better.
Yeah, see, it's crazy how we are our own worst critics. The way
that's all I'm looking at is criticism.
Always. We've experienced.
But the other thing I learned is I was in a not so happy marriage.
Okay.
And Mike and Sue, just how Sue was supporting what he does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Made me realize what I'm not happy in my relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not long after we divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Not my I didn't want that, but she wasn't in love.
Yeah, it's the way it played out.
It's funny, when I was talking to Sue, she talked about the premiere of The Pretender, and there was a couple women who walked up to her and said, like, like a backhanded compliment almost, and I don't know how you've done this these years, and Sue was like, what does that mean?
Exactly. It's no problem for her. It's just like, it's normal.
Right. And I just
support your husband.
And that's what made me sad. I'm like, oh, what did she put up with? A guy not selling out? You know what I'm saying? And sticking to what he really wanted? Is that what she put up with? Yeah.
Those were the people.
Mike and Sue walking away, and I was sat there very sad thinking, what am I doing in this marriage?
Yeah. Yeah, I know we had talked about that. Stacey, those were some of the females who had gone to high school with me. When we had the Pretender show in Scranton, that they had showed up, and some of them were so sweet and so nice. There were 2 or 3 that really were, I thought, friends of mine from childhood, and then there were others who were very judgmental, and so, but at least they showed up. None of the guys showed up that I went to school with. None of them. They all hated me with such a passion. Stacey, before we let Tony get out of here, is there anything else we missed you want to talk about, you want to bring up before we let him go?
I just want to thank you. I mean, it's we are our own worst critic, because I'm looking at everything you've done and I'm like, wow, he's done so much. To me, you've done so much. You've been in all these movies. You've, created the body you wanted to have. You had your gym. It's like you have something in your mind and you've done it. It's just, you should be proud of yourself. Yeah, you definitely are a doer. And so I'm really excited now that you have, this acting bug. I have no doubt we're going to have more to talk about, and whatever you are able to accomplish.
If you got a little part for me,
right?
You got to send him your sizzle reel.
Yeah. You're great.
Stacey, could you imagine him coming back in like a year, 2 years with a BAFTA? Like, that'd be incredible.
Mike, me and you together, Creed 4.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yes.
Come on, Sly, you can do it for us.
We'll be the assassins. Exactly. We'll be like assassins that go to take Adonis out. Tony, so you're in an elevator with Sylvester Stallone. You've got 30 seconds. What do you say to him in between floors so he doesn't think you're a nut job? Go.
Sly, I just want to thank you for the Rocky films, the inspiration they gave me as a young kid and throughout life, because you've gone through some traumatic times in your life and you keep punching and you never focus on the bad, you always focus on the good. So thank you.
You see, this is it. This is one of the things you can tell everything Tony's been through. He make it succinct. He can make it boom. There's a million words you want to say. There's a billion words you want to have with him, but you can't. You only have 30 seconds. So how do you sell it in the most sincere? Because he'll remember something like that. Tony, you exceeded my expectations, and I would like to have you back again talking about others. Stories and a part of your journey, because your journey's not over and you got more to say. So let's get you back here, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, both of you. Thank you for the time. It was a pleasure.
Our pleasure, buddy. Thank you, and you're welcome. Appreciate it. Stacy, until we see Tony again, keep punching. All right, Tony. Take care, my friend.
Okay, guys.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Nice.
Great guy.
What he's done is amazing. I can't get over how much
incredible journey
he's done. I'm going through. I'm trying to gather pictures. There was so much. I'm like,
yeah,
we'd be here all day just showing everything he's done.
Yeah. Here is a man who has set goals for himself. He's accomplished them through great adversity and through not exactly having the most support in the world. You know, I like to tell people, I'm on a rocky journey myself, but my life is very different than Tony's. I had two parents that were incredibly supportive. I had a brother who was very supportive, and I have a wife who was very supportive. Take that away, and you got to do it on your own. And everybody's cracking on you, right? They're goofing on you. Yeah, it's very, very difficult to persevere through that. So someone like Tony Montalbano was able to find his footing. And you got to take your hat off to a guy like that. You really you have to admire that. So, Tony, like we said, man, love you, brother.
Yeah, great job. The keep punching. He's living the keep punching. You're not going to tell him no. He's just going to keep going.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah.
Exactly right. Well, Stacy, I think that brings us to our usual closeout, unless there's anything else you want to talk about or mention.
I don't know. I think that's it. We had flip-flopped a few things around, so
we did.
Where can people find you, my friend?
Yes. Okay, so I wrote a little book called Cue the Rocky Music, and the lovely Stacy is holding that up. You can find that wherever they buy books, but it's specifically at Amazon. There's a little movie about my life called The Pretender right there by the great Jimmy Toscano, who teased me the other day about having an idea for a sequel, and he hasn't gotten back in touch with me, so I don't know what that's about. And you can find me at Instagram, the Yo Philly Rocky Film Tour, or TikTok Rocky, TICK, TikTok Rocky at TikTok. Stacy, where can we find you?
I am at Had Me at Yo on Instagram, as well as at The Rocky Files, and on Facebook at The Rocky Files Podcast.
That is just simply sublime.
That's it.
Well, Stacy, another one is in the books. Episode 68 is done, and we will be back next week for another big episode, and our guest should be pretty spectacular. So,
yes. Awesome.
Until then, Stace,
take it easy.
Punching.
Keep punching. Bye.
Goodbye.